Hey, this is Sasha. Thanks for joining me in today's video. And what I want to share with you today is how to be successful in a, let's say, crummy, low dollar, saturated niche. So I'm going to answer this question for you, give you some thoughts and things to think about. So stay tuned. We're going to dive right into it. All right, so you might have a niche that you're interested in getting into that's extremely saturated. And these saturated niches can be kind of profitable, but they also might be low dollar. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a niche out there for you, like cooking. And although I love the cooking niche just because there are yummy recipes out there to taste, I could definitely say that these are very saturated niches. Because number one, it's easy to get into. Anybody could go ahead and create recipes, and recipes, as you know, are not copyright proof. So meaning you could go ahead and take recipes and republish them in cookbooks. This is one of the reasons why KFC is very protective of their crispy chicken recipes. So number one, it's easy to get into. There's no protection for like trademarks or for recipes to go ahead and reuse them. So all people would have to do is just copy those things and create a new intro or outro in their book or in their courses, and all of a sudden, hey, there's not much you could really do about it. There's no protection in there legally. And you know, it's a low dollar niche. So what I mean by this is people, when they search for recipes, they're looking for free things. Hey, I just want to look up a recipe. What are the ingredients? Let me go ahead. How do I make it? And I'm done. Sometimes you could go ahead and buy, let's say, a cooking book, but this might be, you know, a $5 item. It could be a $25 item, but it's not a lot. So how do you really work in a niche that's like this, that really is very saturated? There's a ton of competitions. If you just search through the books, there's so much stuff going on there. And also the low dollar value amount of it is also not there. So meaning for you to, let's say, make YouTube videos, for you to create blog posts, you really got to pump out a ton of content and sell a lot of products in order to kind of make a living from this area. Well, that's really comes down to you thinking about the bigger picture. And what most people do is they kind of look at this in a one-sided spectrum. So if I look at it from one view, I could look at it from the YouTube view, where now I could go ahead and create recipes and videos, and I make kind of ads. The next step from that would be, okay, let me go ahead and write some ebooks, and I go ahead and I make a little bit of money from selling those ebooks. So all of a sudden you go ahead and you drive a little bit more money from there, but it's very tough again to sell those ebooks because, well, people are just wanting the recipes and they're kind of done. Why would they buy your ebook versus another ebook versus another ebook? So there's so much competition that goes on. But the way that you can really scale these things up and really drive it home is to think bigger and more connected. So this is what I want to leave you with, is think about more connection. So more connection with your audience. And how do you get that deeper connection and deeper drive? Well, it comes down to think about what is it and why are they looking for recipes. People that are just looking for basic recipes, probably not going to get more involved with you beyond that. But people who are interested more about their health and want to get a little more healthy, well, all of a sudden your recipes, if they're catering towards better healthy eating, maybe better vegan planning, maybe talk about meal plan, talk about strategies for busy people, how you can go ahead and create very healthy, very good meals in a fast, short amount of time on the go. People more specific to working out, people more looking to lose weight. And all of a sudden, you have a targeted audience and segment that you can now cater a course, an additional product, and it gets deeper and more connected to what they're looking for. Not to mention, let's say you do one-on-one coaching by meal planning with someone, instead of them having to pay these other health delivery services or food delivery services $20 per day for their food. Well, you could meal plan for 2 weeks and pre-freeze those meals if you're kind of, let's say, a freezer queen or freezer king. And show people how to meal plan, how to get those things in operation. And, you might charge them, let's say, $200 for that versus, let's say, their annual spend for all these meals that come to their house could be anywhere, depending on the size of their family, $2,000, $5,000 a year. And that's why they make the big bucks. So in this case, hey, you're spending maybe an hour or 2 hours of your time, $200, $400, rather than selling, you got to sell a ton of books to make up that money. And again, if you cater towards people who are vegan, again, the same thing. Or maybe you're targeting people about nutrition that are working out, bodybuilders, and now you might have a session, let's say every month, because they need, consistency, repetition. It could be a $200 session this month, $200 session next month, and then you meet again maybe 3 months down the road because they maybe need it a little bit less. So out of that lifetime customer for that year, $200, $400, $600, $800 a year just on nutrition planning and consulting. So that's really what I want you to think about, is get deeper and more connected to your audience and customer, because some of those niches are very tough to break into, and you can make 50 cookbooks and you might not make any money that's sustainable for you compared to just going out and getting a regular job, because they're so saturated and it's a low dollar niche and people expect things for free. So in this case, if you start getting more connected with your audience, you might only have, let's say, 20 customers, 50 customers, not going to be a ton, but now because the price of your service, the price of your products can be very targeted and a lot higher, all of a sudden you'll be able to make a sustainable living from that situation. And by the way, if you're interested in some other niches, maybe you're trying to get into the YouTube space, Pinterest space, or maybe just starting some affiliate programs, check out my Backstage Income freebies section right here, where you could download a ton of these great PDFs, checklists, and much more. Like this one, 125 YouTube niches that pay, ClickBank affiliate niches, productivity hacks, local money-making strategies, and much more, all on backstageincome.com/freebies. So definitely check that out if you're new and if you're serious and if you're trying to get started and you're looking at and just trying to discover some niches in the space of YouTube or other areas. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. Remember to hit the subscribe button by clicking the link right here, or joining me on my newsletter list so that way you get updated when we have new live classes, webinars, other great things to think about, building a product, building a business online. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.